said. They're a bit weird. Who's the one I saw that time? Chester gave me a sidelong glance, and I wondered whether I'd been tactless to mention it, but then he answered, readily enough. That was Paisley. He sings and writes the words. He's good, too. You know, he's got real presence. He looks really manic on stage, throwing himself about. I just wish I could keep him off the drugs. It's the same with all of them. It's costing me a fortune. Perhaps you'll be a good influence on them. Someone sort of straight like you know. Perhaps it'll set them an example. Like Paisley, he hasn't written a song for 2 months. He's been too stoned. The car lurched and made a sickening grinding noise as Chester negotiated the difficult business of arriving at a main road, stopping, starting and crossing it. You ought to get this thing seen to, I said. Well, I've been meaning to. Like when the money starts coming in, right? From this band and everything. I'm going to have it done up. Or maybe get a new one. I'm just a bit hard up right now. Chester drove a 1973 Marina, orange. The side lights didn't work, and the heating was broken, and there was something wrong with third gear, and yet, somehow, like its owner, it inspired trust in spite of appearances. You knew that one day it was going to let you down, badly let you down, but perversely you continued to rely on it. It amazed me to think that the car was only a few years younger than Chester himself. He was only 21, but for some reason I've always looked up to people younger than me. Nearly there, he said. We were driving down a handsome, sad sort of road with high Georgian terraces on either side. It was that hour of the evening when the lights were on, but the curtains are not yet drawn, and through the windows I could see families and couples, bathed in a golden glow, preparing their suppers, pouring their drinks. You could almost smell the basil and the bolognese sauce. We were in North Islington. I felt a sudden desire to be inside one of those houses, to be either cooking or being cooked for, and all at once I realised that I had not made a proper decision today at all. I began to wish that I had phoned Madeleine, and I knew that I would at the first opportunity. I ached for her, after just 1 week's absence, and that was the first sign that things weren't quite as simple as I'd thought. The next sign was when Chester parked the car, pointed up at a window and said, "Good, they're in." I looked up and saw not a soft square of amber framing a domestic scene, but a curious, distant, flickering beam of pure white. It was luminous, but muted, eerie. I must have stared at it long enough for Chester to get out and open the door on my side. "I'm warning you, it's a bit of a tip, this place," he said. "The landlord doesn't care what they do to this house. He doesn't give a toss." He found his keys and locked the door. When I was looking for a house for them, I heard about this place through a friend. Well, perhaps friend isn't the word. Through a business associate, if you like. He chuckled for some reason. Anyway, the deal was he didn't mind what kind of a mess they made of it, so long as he was able to use it himself now and again. Just sort of one evening a week. Well, I knew that was ideal for these boys, because I knew any place they moved into, they'd have it looking like a pigsty in no time. So, it sounded like a dodgy deal to me, but handy with it. What does he want to use it for himself? Chester shrugged. Search me. Doesn't anyone ever see him? Nope. He looked up at the window again. Listen to that bloody racket. I don't know how the neighbours put up with it. Incredibly loud music was issuing from behind the barely lit window. A wail and swirl of saxes and synths, and this drum machine pounding out some robotic backbeat. The noise in the adjoining houses must have been unbearable. Chester went up to the front door, which was falling off its hinges, and began pounding on it with both fists. "You have to do this," he said, "or they won't hear you." While we were waiting for someone to answer, I mentioned a matter which had been worrying me. "Look, Chester, if I decide to join this band, then the Alaska factory, they'll fold up. I won't have time to play with them too."